and welcome to today's Furman Football Weekly with head coach Clay Hendricks. Paladins coming off of a 24-21 win at ETSU, and the season finale is scheduled for a 3 p.m. kick this week at Mercer. A little bit of news from this morning. Billy Lewis was named the Stats Performed National Freshman of the Week for his defensive performance, which included an interception and a forced fumble among a handful of tackles he got as well. And I'm sure Coach Clay Hendricks will have some thoughts on that, plus some other things in his opening statement, and then we'll let Tom Van Hoy ask question number one. Coach?
Okay, Dan, all of you, appreciate you being here. Certainly really happy for our team to go to Johnson City, be a really good East Tennessee State team. And a tough football game, just one that we thought it would be. I think our guys believe we can go get it done. And made a few plays we hadn't made, throughout the year. Probably the first close to a complete game we probably played all year. But just excited for them, and it took all parts. I thought offensively, defensively, certainly special teams were a big part of that. And it was a little better locker room after the game. So again, I think did a great job preparing, like I think they have all year, which gave us a chance to go play well. And had a lot of guys play well. You mentioned Billy Lewis, he was our player of the week for our defense as well. Billy's just that guy. We talk about the pin building stuff around here. Incredibly bright. Just from where he started when we started the year. I don't know where he was on the depth chart. He was way down there. Which that had that happen in a lot of spots. But it's just the guys made most of his opportunities, and really happy for him. But now excited. I think the most encouraging thing, we can play a lot better, and we'll need to. But we can play a lot better, and which I think is the things we kind of been seeing out of this group. We certainly got our challenges in certain spots, certain aspects of what we do. But again, just thrilled to get a win. And excited to go. Another great opportunity. It's a great opportunity, great challenge, all in one. And I know our guys will be excited to go play. With that, we'll take any questions.
Coach, can you take us through that final 7-18, the final drive, and the fourth down call for you?
Yeah, that was, golly, that's one of those, you love to have. And we've had a bunch of those over the years, those kinds of drives, get them all back to 7-18, you don't have to give it back to them. Overcame a penalty, which I have a real problem with. We get a penalty there, it backs up, we overcame it. There were some crucial runs, certainly some conversion plays. And then I think just we got to that point. They forced them to use all three of their timeouts. I think we're maybe at the 30. I just didn't want to kick field goal. I just didn't want to take the chance. You get blocked, even though I had a lot of confidence in Ian. Would put you up by 6, and then for me it was 4th and 3. We make first down, the game was over. And I just asked Jesse, "You got something you like?" And he did. Like the call he had, and great execution. And ultimately we got it one of our best players' hands, which is what you want to do. And he won a one-on-one. I think he actually kind of won 2 of them, but he won the one-on-one. Really good throw, really good catch. Maybe got missed, got first down, and we go to victory formation. So that's kind of how you want to do it. And again, against a team that had been, maybe 3rd in the country in sacks, I thought we did a great job protecting all day. The one sack we allowed really was on the quarterback. I think Trey, I thought Trey really had a heck of a day. Other than just a poor decision on the one ball he threw down the field. For the most part, it was accurate, stood in there. And again, I thought our guys protected well. We ran the ball well enough, I'm really proud of Trey. Trey really watched the last game and a half. When you think about it, we didn't know till Tuesday about noon that Carson. We didn't know any, would be available. So, we were going into the week preparation. We'll kind of see who practices best, and that's what we'll do. And really proud of Trey. The last couple of weeks, how he's practiced. Things that you talk about, you got to be better at. If you're going to be better at getting rid of the ball when you need to get rid of it, you got to practice it that way. I think Trey's a better athlete maybe than some people think he is. you know, I think he's evolving like a lot of our team, and, but boy, he made a lot of close plays for us Saturday.
Coach, when he says he scored twice in the third quarter, you know, it'd been easy, the way things have gone this year, to kind of nail it in right there. But talk about your team's response to that.
Well, you know, I mean, we certainly had our challenges throughout the year, but I just think the effort and the focus, you know, sometimes younger teams, you know, when things don't go their way, I think they turn it down, but it certainly has an effect. You know, I think it started a little bit with Q. Probably should have, you know, Colton, as much as I let him return them, I think probably should have kept that one in the end zone. He brought it out, he didn't get a very good return, and then I guess with 3 and out, yeah, it kind of, you could, you know, we've had a couple of times this year where it got away from us kind of at that point in games, and you know, we really defensively, you know, gave it, you know, about 150 other yards on 3 plays. You know, the first run, you know, Dwayne will tell you, we made a bad call, put our guys in a bad spot, but we still should get the guy on the ground. And then, you know, we get beat on a double move, should never happened. And then the other one, you know, kind of came out of coverage. But no, I think, and I think the drive for us to tie, I think maybe it was a 90-yard drive. You know, after I think we get a hold on a pretty good return. So no, I just think our guys kind of hung in there, kept believing, and we got the fourth quarter tied, and got some good stops. You know, certainly got some turnovers, which was huge. I think, you know, really, we got 3, it's almost like 4, you know, when they went for a 4th down in the first series, that's almost like a turnover the way you view it. And, you know, for us to, you know, to answer score right there was big. But now I'm proud of the kids, they hung in there and found a way how to get it done. Movet made a big play on the pick. At this point, we didn't punch in a touchdown there. Yeah, it's, you know, they've been fighting and working all year, and you know, I never sensed anything different over on the sideline. I think we're kind of beyond some of that other stuff.
Coach, I think it's 3 games ago you made a switch at center. Moved Luke Pettit in there from guard, Luke being one of the more experienced offensive linemen. And, you know, obviously you had some issues as far as snaps go, but I noticed second half you went back with Luna at center, kind of cleaned that up, it looked like it. I don't know, in the fourth quarter, it looked like, you know, you guys were getting a surge in your running game. You weren't ripping off long runs, but it looked to me like, you know, those guys really got it going. Did moving Luke back to guard, you know, get him back at his regular position? I mean, those guys obviously were motivated with the game on the line, but it looked to me like your offensive line really kind of asserted itself.
Well, I thought they were solid really all day. I think they've kind of been that way all year. I don't think people think, so, oh, you don't run the ball well, so all those 5 offensive linemen blocking 11 defensive players. You know, we've got to be more productive in the running back position. You know, I think a lot of times I like to say sometimes we're gaining the minimum, you know, and yeah, we got to always block better. I think we can always do that. But no, good observation. You know, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago where, you know, we're getting the floaters back there, and I remember BMI, maybe it was 5 or 6 or 7. I counted throughout the game, addressed it, you know, and I think, I don't know, somebody asked me, I said, we're working on it. You know, I don't know what you're doing, and you're coaching up and trying to keep doing it. You got to do it when the game counts. And then I really only thought we had the one, you know, really when he was in there. But you know, I think at that point in time, you know, Matt thought, hey, let's make this one move. I think it's been Chris, you know, redshirt freshman who started a bunch of games early in the year, still works it all the time. I think probably the challenge was for Luke. He hadn't repped as much at guard last week. You know, we've kind of played with 6 guys up there because we've been trying to redshirt everybody all year. We have stayed fairly healthy up there. But no, I think that helped us a little bit. I think certainly, you know, quarterback's got enough to think about. I mean, he's got to think about catching the snap every time, but when he's not sure where it's going to be, then you know, it throws off the timing. We had to have a lot of snaps on the ground, that type of stuff. And you know, it's like it always is, the bad snap we made the other day, I thought we had a chance to have a really big play. But obviously, you know, that didn't happen. But that's kind of what triggered that. And, you know, always trying to do stuff that's gonna make us better. That group's been, I think they've been really pretty solid all year. And yeah, I mean, we're as big and as long and as talented as we want to be. Probably not, no. And again, that is one of the few places we stayed pretty healthy. You know, we just didn't have little to no depth to start the year.
If this were in Hollywood, they would say you played against type, because the team reversed so many trends that have been in place. If I've heard you say, once I've heard you say 20 times, we've got to stop beating ourselves. This team is not as good as the last two, but it reversed to the form of having a positive turnover ratio, and it just had the look of a game in which you had that attitude of they're giving us hell, but we're gonna figure out a way to win this game. And that, do you think you just sort of finally tipped over the mountaintop?
You know, you think you took a big step forward. Now, we'll see. You got to do it again the next week, but no, I totally agree. We've won a bunch of games like that over a lot of years here. I think Saturday, you know, but we also have a lot of guys playing that hadn't really won games like that. You know, this has really been an unusual group when you look at who we're playing with. I've gone back there, always at the end of the year, start looking at the production of our team, and I go individually, and, you know, it's just, there ain't been a lot of production because they haven't played very much, you know, across the board, you know, guys who have staffs. You know, I did look at this, Monty, I think in the first, you know, one of the things we talked about in the first, it wouldn't be the first half, but about the first half of the year, we're averaging between 9 and 10 penalties a game. Last half it's been between 4 and 5. I think we had 14 turnovers in the first 6 games, you know. I think we've had 5 in the last 4, 3 of those were in one game, you know. So I think, yeah, that's a trend. You want to see people get better as you go forward. Certainly, if you're not hurting yourself with penalties and turnovers, you got a better chance. And again, we got some turnovers. And we're playing a group this week. I think they've got 28 turnovers. They created 28 turnovers. You know, I think we've got, is it maybe 12 now? I think we've got 12 of them. So you think about that, how many times they scored on defense. And, you know, a lot of that's been in the right spot. A lot of it's playing good. You know, probably a combination of both. But no, I'm hoping we've taken that step forward a little bit. Because, you know, almost all those guys that we're playing with will be back again next year. We should be. And, but I kind of see it, you know, going, you know, in baby steps. But, you know, it's just like I said, the quarterback would take care of the ball. And sometimes, you know, even when he took the sack the other day, okay, sometimes it's okay to take a sack and punt, you know, instead of doing something you shouldn't do with it. So it's a process. And, you know, to be able to go on the road and beat a really good team, you know, I think maybe it makes it even more so. Maybe if you just, maybe it one of them, maybe wasn't as talented a group as they have. But I'm hoping certainly we can build upon that going forward.
Coach, Mercer this year has been pretty unbeatable. And we can take away the Alabama game this past weekend, but they have lost to Samford this year, which basically means that any team right now has a chance to come in and beat this team. But they've scored 35 plus points pretty much every game. What is your thoughts going into this one as you face a team that, you know, you're not projected to win, but you still have a fighter's chance?
Well, I'll say this about our league, and I've said this several years ago. I think we're talking about the CAA, getting all these teams in. It's a different world when you play everybody every week. And, I mean, you look across the board, I think anybody can beat anybody. I think, you know, when you look at this group, you know, new staff came in, certainly didn't inherit, the cupboard wasn't bare. Had a really good defense returning. They built upon that. I think what they did, you know, when you look at what he did, he's got a 1,000-yard rusher that he brought in as a DT transfer guy. I don't know, added a fair number of transfers that has helped them. You know, they've played great defense all year. think, to me, where they got significantly better was in the offensive line, with adding some guys in the running back, was huge for them. I think the other thing is this, I think our conference, when you look at it, almost everybody struggled offensively. You know, I really think Western's probably the one team that you felt like could really hurt you in a lot of ways. Now they've lost their quarterback. The other young kids playing pretty good too. But it's been, you know, you look at this league, if you go back, you want to play it all over again. And I kind of thought this, you know, play great defense, take care of the ball, be efficient offensively. You have a chance every week if you do that. Obviously, we didn't do that every week. And we were hurt defensively for different reasons. But I think the other thing for them, my opinion, they got off to a fast start. I thought they had a favorable schedule to start the year. And it got them some confidence. You know, they played well, they got them some confidence. And then you know, I looked at their game with Chattanooga, you know, which was, you know, that game was a big game early in the year. Chattanooga's year started like our year started. They got hammered the first week by Tennessee, and they played Georgia State. And you could just watch them, we're very confident. Mercer goes there, wins a close game, and you could just kind of see the momentum going forward. They've just been, like I said, but, you know, they played really good defense. They look like they stayed pretty healthy throughout the year. You know, I looked at our league, you know, there's only two teams in our league that really played with the same quarterback all year. I think Citadel and probably Sanford. Everybody else has either been an injury deal, or maybe been a little bit like us, where you kind of been trying to find the guy that gave you the best chance. And they've been that way offensively. But like I said, they just had so many opportunities because of the turnovers. You know, I think they lead the country in interceptions. Then I noticed, you know, 3 of the 4 top interception teams in the country are Southern Conference teams. You know, so they you know, they feasted off people turning it over. You know, I think East Tennessee was a 37-31 game. They scored 21 points, not on offense. You know, they covered a fumble for a touchdown, they ran a pick back for a touchdown, blocked a punt for a touchdown, and they've been really good on special teams. So, you know, that's a pretty good recipe for success, and I think you get a little confidence with it. And obviously, they've done a great job coaching them, similar to who they've got there. And, no, so you know, they've been in some battles too, and you know, the Sanford game, they turned it over crazy kind of early in the game, got behind, and that's really kind of what that game was about. And then you watch Sanford, and obviously turn it on, you see what they did in Chattanooga last week. So better be ready to play every week. You know, and I think also, which also makes you think, you know, go play well. I think we can beat anybody in this league. I really feel that. I felt that way all year. And, even when we didn't win game, we were competitive, put ourselves in a position. You know, I told our team prior to this year, you always say, you know, a couple of plays. I really felt like 2 weeks prior to Saturday, one play would have won the game for us. You know, and so we're just trying to go be a little better and you know, keep pushing forward. So we'll be excited to go play. It'll be a fun one to go play.
Clay, in a season that's been a little taxing on your defense at times, just your thoughts on the year that Evan DiMaggio is having, leading the SoCon in tackles, and just continues to be a warrior for you game in and game out.
Yeah, but I mean, golly, I'm obviously a little biased. I think Evan's the best player in the league with a lot of good defensive players. There are a lot of good defensive players in this league. I just think what he's done, leadership he brings. I mean, man, he is the, you know, great student, great leader, tough, great player. I mean, just you name it. And you know what? You know, he lost Xavier there in front of him, who I thought was one of the better defensive linemen in the league. So he wouldn't, you know, we lost him early. And we lost Luke for about 3 weeks in there. And they were kind of the 3 core guys, you know, that we had going. But his leadership and the way he's played has just been phenomenal. You know, he's playing the other 2 guys that are rotating in with him, are both freshmen. I think he certainly helped in their development. Ryan Earl's a guy. I thought Ryan had a heck of a game. I think the last 3 plays of the game, he had a TFL, a solo, and assist. Maybe the last 3 plays before they punted it all to us. You know, and it did in the game. But yeah, I can't say enough about it.
But you talked about Trey Edmond and his development as a young guy, as a freshman. You had so many that have had to play, some on the defensive line as well. I guess the good news is they've gotten a chance to play. Have you seen those young guys, as they get their baptism under fire, so to speak, get better as the year's gone on?
Oh, absolutely. You know, Trey, you know, obviously he's really talented. You can see that in him. He's got a lot of confidence. You know, and I say this, it's not like I walk around the building and look and see who's in here, who's watching tape. I may see him as much in here as much as anybody. He's in Coach Roper's office, it's over by mine, so I see him over there all the time. So he's an eager guy, won't understand. You know, it's just a certain amount of, you know, growth and maturity that has to take place. You know, I'd say he's a pretty mature, you know, football player, but he's still a freshman, you know. But he's got a lot of confidence. He's learned, he's continued. I think he's become a better practice guy. You know, attention to detail. You know, there was things early in the year, he wouldn't take a drop. You know, it threw the timing off. Not to mention it hurts the protection. You know, just little things that, you know, you just got to do over and over and over. And I just, you know, certainly Saturday was his, I think, best day, just attention to detail. He's always been able to make throws. He's always been able to do that. And he understands where he's going. And yeah, I mean, I think all young guys can have bad habits and they have to learn. You know, a lot of times you don't see it. Quarterback usually see it and they don't do it. So, and I don't know. I haven't looked at that number lately. There's just so many of them. But it's been fun to kind of watch them. I've enjoyed. I enjoyed the way our record is. I've enjoyed this group. We've had a great group of seniors. Don't have a lot of them, but and you know we've played our best football the last 3 weeks. You know, our goal to play our best game Saturday. You know, and I just know there's no reason why we should be able to go play our best game. It'll be a big challenge, especially. Well, both sides of the ball, but especially that our offense, just against because they have been so good defensively.
Coach, they actually, Mercer leads the country in defensive touchdowns with 6 this year.
I mean,
6.
yeah, I thought it might be, and I know they've had at least one on. I know they blocked at least one punt for a touchdown. I think they blocked 2 punts for touchdowns, maybe.
Yeah. My question is kind of with the quarterback situation there. It's sort of similar type of quarterback that Trey is, what they have and with Neubauer. You just talk about the adjustments they've made, and I guess my question is, I guess it kind of minimizes the mistake, that he can make a few more mistakes when you have a defense that does what they do.
No question. You know, and I really felt like this. I felt like, you know, even with the guys we lost a year ago, I felt like coming into the year defensively, I said we can ride our defense, take care of the ball, and then we just lost so many guys over there, and it took us 3 or 4 weeks. And we're still kind of some of that, but it took a few weeks where we played really well. You know, their deal's a little different. They brought in a junior college kid, and then our kid, I think, is a true freshman. And they've, a little bit like us, you know, even they've done it a little more in mid-game. There've been times where series got a different guy in there. So I don't know if there's been an injury. You know, I don't know that. I think they're a little bit like us, just trying to find some consistency. Now, I think what's helped them the running game, the running back, I think has been really, really good. I mean, he's got right at 1,000 yards now. You know, they've been better up front, but they have some balance in their offense. I think the 2 quarterbacks are a little different. One is probably more of a dual threat guy. I don't think they really try to run him, but he will run it a little bit more. So I don't know. And then I know Saturday, I think the young one played most of the game. You know, and I would imagine in that game they're probably trying to save a few guys. You know, because at the end of the day, you know, this week, next week is much more important to them than the Alabama game was. So, you know, a little bit like East Tennessee had been. You know, we thought we would see both guys, and actually saw 3. Now the one guy's truly a dual threat guy. And running game pretty similar. You know, similar kind of back. Their back, it's funny, their back looks like number 3 at East Tennessee. So, but again, when you play as well as they played on defense, you know, and always ahead, can get after the passer. You know, like you know, crazy defensive stats. I think on 3rd down, I think maybe it's at like 27% they're allowing. I know they struggle on third down on offense, you know, so I think it's gonna be one of those games, you know, go play good defense and, I thought last week, you know, unless there was a bunch of turnovers, it wouldn't be a ton of points scored. You know, because I think offensively, you know, I think their statistics are a little better than ours, but I think, I don't know, I think if we can find a way to move the ball a little bit and score some points, we probably will have a chance.
During this rough and tumble year, there have been an awful lot of players, particularly say on defense, particularly in the secondary, who you probably wouldn't have been dreamed they'd seen this much action. As you look ahead, nearing the end of this season, what will be the strength of this team next year?
Well, I'm hoping, you know, I think you look at it, you know, I mean, Ian Williams knows he's coming back for 6th year. So I'm hoping the kid team's got a chance to be really good. I think we've been solid there all year. I think for the development of the quarterback position, you know, I don't know, I think we've got 8 or 10 linemen we think will be back. I don't think we lose a single receiver. You know, we gotta be better in the run game. There's a few spots we got all of those tight ends. We all forward and Josh Burrell. I think Josh could probably be back in a week or two, if we had a week or two. But we get all 4 of those guys plus him back. I think, defensive, you know, we hope to get, Xavier back. You know, we'll have to win a little waiver over one game, but we hope we could get him back. You know, obviously Evan DiMaggio will be big shoes to fill, and Luke Clark, but everybody else is back. Played guys, and they're still redshirted, a bunch of guys that were, you know, I mean, Malachi Dobbins played, I don't know, almost 30 plays last week. I think it's the second game he's ever played in, but he was our backup, you know, because we held him. We lost Stone King for the rest of the year, you know, about a few weeks ago. So it's just been kind of crazy how that's happened. But I don't know, I think we got a chance to be better everywhere now. We'll have to see. You know, we need to have a great offseason. We got to change. We got some good young bodies, but we need to develop them. But I think we got a chance to just be better everywhere, and I think that's kind of what our goal is going to be. And then, you know, we have the ability, I think, now to maybe add a guy or two, which last year, you know, the only guy that came here in January was Trey Hill, because he was the only spot we had available. Everybody thinks we lost 41 seniors. We had all those kids who graduated in December, but we didn't get scholarship money back at that time. So we didn't have to have, we've kind of planned to have a little available so we can fill in a spot here or there when we feel like we need. Now, that's a challenge for us because our pool is significantly smaller than what everybody else deals with. But you know, excited about that part of it.
When you have a win like you did this past weekend, is that kind of does that kind of lend more towards the developmental part of it and seeing it kind of in motion as from the season starting to now? Is that kind of what you were trying to see, you know, maybe a little bit earlier, but now you're kind of finally seeing it?
Yeah, I think you are. I mean, like I said, you never could imagine you'd lose as many guys as you did. I also did never imagine we turned the ball over as much as we did. I've always said at the end of the year, for me, it's always based on did you maximize, you know, who you had, who you got. And I don't think I'll be able to say yes because of a lot of those things. But where you know, I don't know. I think good teams get better every week, you know, and I'm hoping go play our best game Saturday. Will it be good enough? We'll see. I don't know, but I do like the trend we're on. You know, everybody wants to, you know, around here we used to win, I think every year, but I think of our 5 of the 8 years we've been here, last weekend we played for the conference championship, you know, and so that's where we want to be. We're not there this year. We're in a little different role, which has been, you know, our guys embraced that role last week and got still have a little say-so this week. So I think our guys are embracing that role. I think they'll be excited to play.
It's kind of 2 schools of thought. Some coaches feel that there's never any benefit from losing. Some people think that how you react to adversity is what shapes your character and makes you what you are. Nobody enjoyed this season, but do you think that this season, in redoubling the efforts, will make next season better?
Well, I certainly hope so. I mean, it's, I've said this before, 2024's been a tough year going back, back to last winter. Again, it's how you respond to stuff, and I've been really pleased how you responded all year. I think, you watch our guys play, there are a lot of people would, last week, I don't know how people would play, I don't coach other teams, but you just watch our guys, the way they played and competed. And I've done that the last few weeks, we didn't always play our best. I'd be shocked if the adversity doesn't help us going forward. I know it's helped us this year. We're gonna come back there, we're gonna be, do the same things we always do, and I think it helps us maybe refocus a little bit as coaches. And when we kick off the year, we're already talking about next year. We've been talking about next year for a couple of weeks. We're trying to send these old kids out in the best way we can and build. Again, we're already talking about a 25 championship. That's what we're kind of looking for right now.
All right, Coach, I think that's all from the assembled media gallery here, so just up to you to deliver a final thought.
Well, yeah, appreciate you being here. Now, it's been, all seasons are challenging. I don't care if you're winning every game. This one certainly has brought about its own unique challenges, but incredibly proud of our kids and the way they work. The staffs continue to put our guys in a position where they can go be successful. And again, just looking for a big, great opportunity and challenge for us Saturday to go to Mercer and play well and have a chance to go win. But that's certainly what we're planning on doing. We had a great start on Sunday, out here Sunday afternoon. I'd be surprised if they don't practice really well this week. But again, we got to be able to do it on Saturday. And I kind of like the trend. But we can build upon that, do what we need to do, go get a win.
All right, Clay, thank you very much. The kickoff at Mercer is scheduled for 3 p.m. on Saturday. It'll be available on ESPN Plus. The Furman radio broadcast via the Fan Upstate will begin with the Pepsi Countdown to kickoff at 1:30. So we hope that if you can't make the trip, you'll tune in to Tom and David and me on the call. Thank you so much for your attention again this morning, and that'll wrap up this week's press conference. For Coach Clay Hendricks and all of us at Furman, I'm Dan Scott. God bless you. So long, everybody.